Hello, this is Wmpyr here to show you guys three very important paramount footwork in my opinion. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's self-defense on the street or we're talking about combat sports in a ring or in a cage. It should serve you well either way. But these three to me are extremely important and basic. So we're gonna go ahead and start here. I have a training knife. This could be empty hand. It could be a stick. We're very versatile in that sense. And all I'm doing from here is I'm going to take a quick hop to the right, quick hop to the left. 1, 2, 1, and 2. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what my feet are doing. And this is what makes footwork videos tricky. You always gotta 1, 2, harder to film. 1, 2. I'm just taking a quick hop, okay? All right, so the question is why? Why am I doing that? Why is it a hop? The reason why it's a hop is this is the fastest way that you can go from point A to point B. As a human being, it's not the most economical, no. It wastes a lot of energy, but it is, when you get startled, it's the fastest, boom. And that's why animals do it too. You scare, or you see an animal that gets afraid, they jump. Okay, so that quick hop is what we're utilizing here. Now let's add the technique to it, the hands to it. So it's the hand that gets left behind. So if I'm gonna go to the right, then my right side is leading, right? So I go boom. It's the left hand that's going to strike. If I'm going to the left side, the left hand is leading, so my right hand is the one that's going to strike. Okay, so once again, from here, I'm going to go to the right, boom. From here, I'm going to go to the left, boom. What might help you is add a parry. So as I go to the right, I'm going to parry, boom, and I added a strike. I go to the left, I'm going to parry, boom, like so, boom, boom. Here's the parry, boom. Here's the parry, boom, like so. All right. So what's important about this is to understand that this is connected to the Jeet Kune Do footwork, a very famous footwork called the pendulum step. Okay. So the pendulum step, very similar. Okay, if you want to do the pendulum step just as an exercise, it's this. 2, 1, 2. So just do this, for like a minute. If you can get to 3 minutes, that's awesome. Okay, so that's the pendulum step. So as I'm going to go to the right, okay, so when I go to the right, I'm going to go ahead, boom, like this. Okay, go to the left now. Boom, like so. Boom, 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 okay? So, why do we have the pendulum step? The pendulum step, you guys try it. Let me know what you think, but this is my opinion. You do the pendulum step, you could cover more distance, okay? It's easier to cover more distance than the hop that I showed you guys. The hop is faster. So they both have, pros and cons. Okay, you can start to combine the two. So it's important to practice both and try to combine two. Now, the other thing, the next footwork number 2 that I want to show you guys, okay, is after you do this boom side step right here, we're gonna go ahead and do this one. Boom. That's the pivot. Okay. So let me do that again. So I'm just going boom, boom right here. Okay. Now you recover. Let me go this way. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay. So I'm gonna go slow. As I go to the right, it's the hand that gets left behind. So boom, and now I'm off center, right? And I'm gonna do the pivot right here. So boom, like that. And the pivot is done. So let me, here, I went 1, 2, okay? So the pivot is this way. And I'm gonna show you guys the actual footwork now. Okay, so from right here, I'm just gonna go this way to the right first. So boom, and there was my punch as I went. And now I'm gonna pivot, so the right hand's gonna punch this way, boom, like so, okay? You guys saw that? So my footwork went this way and this way, okay? Once again, I am utilizing the quick hop. And a guy that does that kind of pivot is Mike Tyson. He's shown that recently. Watch his footwork. He shows that kind of footwork movement. I like it because the hop, once again, is instinctive. It's very fast. Compared to the pendulum step, it doesn't cover as much distance, but like I said, you could start to combine the body mechanics of both, okay? So anyway, one more time. To come, boom, you're off on the side now, okay? And now, you know, to change my angle so that I am facing both of my strong end legs to attack them, I'm pivoting. So I'm putting myself in a good position, and they're still facing this way. So I got their side, okay? So that's where that pivot comes in. So boom, I pivot and strike at the same time. This could have been a knife slash. This could have been a hit with a stick, or I could go to the hamstring, like more so in traditional Filipino martial arts, because you take out their mobility. Now. Once again, from here, I make that side step, boom, and boom right here. Okay, so I showed you two very, very important movements, okay? Let's go back to the first one, which was this motion right here. Just going from here, okay, to here, this quick hop, okay? In Filipino martial arts, they don't teach you that. They do, but it's not as emphasized as this one. What's the difference? This one I'm going diagonal. Diagonal. So 1, come back here, and 2, come back here. Diagonal, diagonal, okay? Diagonal is emphasized more than going sideways. Now, I have studied some Filipino martial arts systems where we did do the sideways in there, but once again, it is not as favored as the diagonal, all right? Does that mean that the diagonal is better? Let's think about that, okay? So, once again, right here. So what I showed you guys was from here is to go here and then come here, right? So that was my pivot right there. So now I am in a diagonal position to my opponent, essentially. But in Filipino martial arts, what they teach is to come here, right here, okay? And to immediately go, instead of going sideways, we're going here. We're going off diagonal. And then from here we can pivot. But the thing about the diagonal we have to think about, why do they teach that, is because if you go to the diagonal point, rather than going side and then pivot, the diagonal kind of cuts in between that. So it puts you in a better position faster. The only problem with the diagonal is timing it is difficult. So let me put it to you guys this way. The diagonal, what they standard teach in Filipino martial arts as, you want to do the diagonal. They put down the triangles, create triangles with sticks. They put down the sticks on the floor and they make all these diamond-shaped patterns. Okay, the diagonal is advanced. The diagonal is better. It's better. Why? Because to put it simply, multitasking is superior to single tasking. Because single tasking is 1 and then 2. Now I'm here. Okay? Whereas if I cut diagonal, I'm already here. Okay? So diagonal is multitasking. Therefore, it is superior. But the timing for that is difficult. The timing for this is much easier. Boom, boom, boom. Much, much easier. So if you don't have that kind of fundamental and all you know is the diagonal, chances are your timing is off. You're using it at the wrong time. It's not going to work for you at all. You're just wasting not only your time and energy, you're making yourself very vulnerable. You're using it at the wrong time. So I think going back to the fundamentals is more important. So that's why here, that's what I recommend. Okay, work on that, those two, before you start doing the diagonal. Now, there is number 3, and the diagonal is not the third one. Remember, I said to you guys, 3 paramount footworks. Okay, 3, what I would call the Mount Rushmore of footworks. Okay, so what is number 3? Number 3 is once you come here and then boom, you did the pivot right here. Okay, what can happen is with the pivot and this pivoting move that I did right here, boom, this pivot is related to the floating foot. So let me show you guys. Okay, so real quick. So coming here, boom, and then this is the pivot right here. Boom, I pivoted back. This is the pivot, boom. So once I come here, in a way, this leg now is in the front. This leg is closer to the opponent, okay? So then I'm gonna pivot here. So what I'm doing here is essentially I'm moving this foot back. So that is what we call the floating foot, or what Sensei Rick calls the floating foot that comes from his Escrima system that he learned. Okay, so the floating foot right here. And I've learned it, just never had that kind of terminology. We didn't call it the floating foot, but that floating footwork and the pivot is related, because also wrestlers do this too. They present the leg, you want to grab this leg, you go for it, and boom, that leg is gone now. And I cut you diagonal. If I cut you straight, even though I bring this leg back so that you don't get it, if I stay here, you could still keep shooting straight. But if I'm diagonal, you're shooting at nothing, and I'm taking your back. So anyway, even the wrestling stuff applies to this. So the pivot, boom, we come here. Now, there's a chance, because they're moving they're going to move however they want. I can't manipulate that. I have to adjust to how they move. And if they might end up too close to me. Okay, so if they end up too close to me, what I'm going to do here is the arms could be distracting there, so let's forget about the arms. All I did was I changed footwork, okay? I changed my stance. That's all I did, okay? But what that allows me to do is that allows me to strike without changing my position, because when I strike, you can see I'm moving forwards, and that messes up my targeting, okay? So by changing my stance, I can try to hit. Maybe this is too close, but this one works great. And you can see I didn't move in forward. So let me show you guys the footwork for that. Okay, so back to number 1. Here, number 2, boom. So now my right leg is to the front, okay? And then from here, I'm basically switch stance to where this happens, okay? And you see I didn't move forward. But by switching stance, I just threw in at least one punch, okay? So one more time. Let's see if you guys can. No, that's not gonna help. Okay, so from right here, I went 1, pivot, and then here, strike, strike. There we go. So I struck. This is my right hand, my left foot to the front. Okay, so that allows me to punch or slash or stab or strike with a stick and adjust distance. So all three of these fundamental moves, whether it's the sideways hop, that is once again connected to the pendulum. So now I'm doing the pendulum. You can see how much further I can go. And the other one is the pivot, which I said to you guys, this is the pivot, this is the pivot, pivot, pivot. So I'm striking, striking. With the pivot, it's the direction you're going, that arm. I could be slashing, I could be stabbing, I could be hitting with a stick, or I could be hammer fisting, I could be hitting. So boom, 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 okay. Or you guys want to use open hand, you could do a palm slap to the ear. So that's your pivot, pivot, pivot. And then this is a change of footwork, okay. So from here, boom, change the footwork. From here, boom. You can see I'm putting everything in there, but I'm not going forwards. Boom, right here. All I'm doing is changing my stance, essentially, okay? So all three of those allow for you to make micro adjustments. That's why they're so good, okay? And like I said, what's better than that? Better than that is to multitask, okay? The only problem with multitasking is your timing better be on. And if it's off, it's harder to time something that you multitask, okay? If you go single like this, where you go here, 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 it's not as efficient, but at least you can adjust easier, okay? So that is the drawbacks, benefits and drawbacks. So everyone goes right away into the more advanced stuff. I know, that's how we're programmed, that's how we're taught, and we don't really develop the fundamentals. We don't know what the hell we're doing, you know? So I see a lot of people learning footwork that they can't use. So I'm here to bring it back and show you a more fundamental, and so that you can start to see how it connects to the advanced stuff. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.